change.
Everybody else on the Roots and Ficus team. So I'm Shilpa. I'm part of the Ficus team, as well as offer a supporting role on the Roots team as well. I lead the organization today. I've been with Ficus for the last 11 years and have a background in organization and leadership development. So that's about me. Let me pull up my. I just have a very few set of slides to walk you through and take your inputs. Let me know when the slides are visible for everybody. Yeah, all right. Okay. So really the agenda for today was to we've completed one sort of cohort of the Accelerate program. All of you have been a part of it. And today we thought we'll take stock, we'll take your inputs on what's worked and not. We also want to use this opportunity to share what the new cohort eligibility criteria are. They're not dramatically different from what applied to all of you, but we thought we'll just share our thoughts and get your feedback on it. And since we are planning to initiate a second cohort this year, we thought of two things. One is how can you help us nominate people from within your organization for the program? And as the first alumni cohort of this program, we would love to hear from you on how we can engage with you and how you would like to draw, from each other. So that's really agenda for today. Moving on, this is just to sort of refresh your memories. It's not too long ago that you finished this program. It was in March that you completed it. You started your journey with a 180 feedback process where you gathered feedback and inputs for yourself. And you took the help of a coach to actually convert it into like a individual development plan. You also attempted drawing up your personal vision, and along with your IDP and personal vision, you sort of brought that together with the help of the coach, and you may have put a set of actions for yourself. Post that, in the journey, you were urged to sort of join a whole host of programs, and the list that you see on the right of your screen are all the programs that were available on the Roots calendar, and you all were invited to participate and draw from those. Apart from the Roots events, there was also a capstone project. All of you were given some guidelines to identify a topic that would be strategic enough and sort of push you to think differently or to work on a challenge that you or your organization or program were experiencing. And there was an additional coaching session that was offered to you at the end of the journey. Some of the cohort members did sort of take that up, and in fact some others also went ahead and took one more additional to the two that were sort of available. So this is a sort of a snapshot of the journey that you went through. Like I said, this we're meeting today to really take your inputs on the new batch, understand what worked for you and not. So at this point, I'd like to sort of get into a poll. I'd request just before that, Smriti I don't, I should have done this maybe at the start of the conversation. Smriti is the most recent entrant on the Ficus and Roots team, and she will Lakshmi. I don't know how many of you know that Lakshmi will be sort of moving on. She's moving countries for personal reasons, and Smriti is someone who will step into her shoes and sort of engage with you and continue to engage with you deeply through the rest of the Roots journey. So, Smriti, before you help us with the poll, would love to have you introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Shilpa, and thank you, everyone here, Mahendra, Prakash, Krishnendu, and Reena, as I can see. And I'm looking forward to meet more of the other accelerators also over a period of time. So I have recently joined FICUS, and I have experience working with not-for-profit organizations, primarily into, institutional development. So, now I'm taking over this role from Lakshmi, and would look forward to work with you in future in different formats we work. So yeah, thank you, Shilpa.
Thank you, Smriti. We'll pull up a poll now, which will appear
Yeah.
on your screens. If you all can just take sort of 2, 3 minutes, very simple set of questions. We'd love all four of you to attempt these questions, and we'll look at the results in a bit and maybe sort of open it up for a conversation to get more details.
So do you have
We'll
access to poll now?
I can see it on
Yes,
my
we
screen.
can.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes.
Can
Yeah,
see
if you
now?
all can go ahead and respond to
Oh,
all the questions, please.
you can access the poll, right? Because I'm not able to see it on my screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it as a participant. Shruti, you might be seeing it as a host. So let four people respond to it, and then you can
Huh.
share the result.
Okay, 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 okay.
Give it a couple of minutes. People might
Yeah,
be feeling.
sure.
Smriti, just check your WhatsApp now. I've sent you a message.
Hmm. So I think we have received all the responses. So I'm ending the poll right now.
Great.
Shilpa, shall I share the results?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I hope you're able to see the screen.
Um, no, I'm not able to.
Not yet? Okay, okay, okay. Let me do it again.
Yeah, now we can
Is it
see.
visible now? Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, so as we can see, what is the overall rating
Gone
for the
now.
experiment?
It has gone now. So I think the moment you close it, it goes off. Okay. Either you take a screenshot of it and share it, or just let it be. We can scroll it.
Yeah, we
Shilpa, you
can
can
scroll it.
scroll it,
Just
no?
let
I,
it
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
yes, I can scroll it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I think your overall experience has been great. Most of you have rated it 5 out of 5. In terms of all of you have sort of found the 180-degree very useful. So that's great. The usefulness of the personal visioning, 3 of you have found it excellent, and one of you has said it's good. All of you have found the relevance of the coaching session very useful. So that's very nice to hear. And in terms of the relevance of the capstone project, it's a 50-50 split with 2 of you calling it out of 4 or 5 on, and then 2 of you on 5 on 5. So I'd like to sort of just understand that a little bit. We'll come to that. The relevance of the IDP, again, 75-25 split. In terms of the roots learning events, again, 75-25. And the recommended duration of the Accelerate program, all of you, 3 of you have picked the 4 to 6 months, and one of you has said 8 to 12 months. Would love to hear a comment on that, because we've been sort of debating. 6 months has been an ideal sort of a sweet spot, but we also recognize that some participants may look for a little more depth or more time. So would like to understand what's sort of most favorable. And would you recommend Accelerate to others? Excellent. All of you have said yes. So that's brilliant. So two questions out of this. I'd like to sort of just open up this for a conversation on the duration. Since I picked that up, the person who sort of looked at 8 to 12 months. Any thought on because if it's 8 to 12 months, the content will also sort of have to increase. Any additional areas that you think we can address going forward, and the others can also contribute while and also speak about the duration. Any thoughts on the duration itself? Yeah, the person who said 8 to 12 months, would you like to share anything specific on why would you have it extended? And there's nothing wrong about wanting a longer program. Okay. And the other question that I wanted to sort of dwell on.
So can I come in
Yeah.
here?
Yes, Krishnendu, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for this organizing this feedback session. It's very important to share what we have learned, how we can, contribute in further, improving the entire overall outcome of this initiative, because it's a well thought initiative. And special appreciation for all the team members who were involved from Ficus team for giving us all the kind of support. And it was like very last moments we have asked for the support, especially I have asked for the support, and I have got it properly, and that have helped a lot, in achieving the desired result. So coming back to the duration, though I have opted for 4 to 6 months only, but here I have one important feedback about the positioning of the program in the calendar year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you choose the financial year last 2 quarters, or calendar year last 2 quarters. So for example, it's very doable when you do it between June to December, because at that time, there are a lot of other things which comes around the first quarter of the calendar year, say March, April, during the April, during the January to March and April to June, first 6 months of the calendar year. There are a lot of things happening, project
Sure.
closes going on, renewals going on, and we are all in the development space are working on the various with various partners, and there are different requirements which oftenly comes around this period of time. And
Sure.
then also you have your annual appraisals or whatever, annual events and everything that is going on during this period. So it often becomes challenging to spare time, because end of the day, your business matters the most, right? So and for any kind of other development activities, you always need some kind of lease time to at least to give you the right kind of concentration that is required. So what I felt, if it is organized between June to December, then it will be very helpful, because at that point of time, we have at least, we don't have any additional kind of workloads which oftenly comes in the January to June period. So that's
Sure.
one feedback I wanted to give on the duration side. And 4 to 6 months is
Uh,
perfectly fine, because I felt making it too longer would be difficult for managing
mhm.
a lot of other things. So make it intensive, let it be 4 to 6 months, so that it should not be dragged beyond a point. And
Sure.
that's it on the duration largely.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Krishnendu. In fact, I think we have received this input, while you all were going through the program as well. And this year we will wrap it up. We're thinking of launching it in August. Given that we may also consider maybe launching it in July, so that by December we're done, so that it doesn't spill into the last quarter. And we recognize there are a lot of other sort of statutory compliance, donor related pieces that you might be doing in the last quarter. So get that, and thank you for that input. Okay, the other sort of input that I required, there's a 50-50 split on the capstone project. And any inputs for us on how
Hi
the
Silva.
capstone?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi
Yes, Prakash.
Shilpa, yeah, sorry. Actually, that 8 to 12 month was given by me, and due to the power cut, I could not respond on that question. So I have. So thank you for organizing this learning meeting along with all the accelerators, and thank you Focus team. And I have another view like Kisnendu said that we all of us are and my point was having the duration of 8 to 12 months is due to our the busy schedule. So like I would like to give my example, like, total 12 events have been organized, and I barely had a chance to attend 6 to 7 event only. So I think this might be case of many other participants also.
Mhm.
So, and I also feel there is some gaps in like we are having the series of the events, but the connections, what I felt that I was expecting. I think there is we can work on that. Like I was also expecting that there will be some buddy learning approach, or physical space where all the accelerators can meet. With each other at least once in
Mhm.
a learning period. So, and also the counseling, the coaching part, I attended only one, though two coaching was planned, but another did not schedule. I don't know it was scheduled, but I could not attend that. So I
Mhm.
thought that if we make it a little more so that we can have opportunity to attend at least the bare minimum the expectations, like here we are
Okay.
rushed through, and we are in daily basis also, we are uh, having many responsibilities, and making out of time dedicatedly for this is a little bit of difficult. So I think I also feel that can we think of organizing this in evening time or weekend time, so that all the accelerator can at least get a chance to attend the events. So many of the sessions which was organized on Saturday, I was able to join, but even though it was a personal time, but I was managed to join because I don't have other office related responsibilities. So I want a little bit a stretched timeline. So the bare minimum uh, expectations can be met through this. So this was my point.
Sure.
That is the reason I pointed that 8 to 12 months would be the standard timeline, according to me. Yeah,
Sure, sure,
yeah,
Prakash.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for that input. And I'm sure because it's 6 months and there are about 12 events, like you rightly said, it could become difficult for people to attend all of them, which is why we had also sort of said, at least 80% of them, if you will be able to attend, that will be a good sort of a requirement from the program, the Accelerate program perspective. But we hear you, and point well made, and we'll see how we can sort of consider both the duration that you've suggested as well as the day in the week that works. One of the challenges we do experience is, there are it's a large group outside of the Accelerate program that also attends, the roots sort of events. So sometimes it may become difficult to sort of satisfy everybody's individual requirements. But yes, point well made, and thank you for your input. Anything specific on the capstone project that you would like to share feedback on, um, from either a topic perspective, the time that you may have taken to finish it, any additional support that you may have wanted which you did not receive, anything about the capstone project, because that to us is a very integral and very important, the most important, if I may sort of pick between all the components, because that it allows you to try and test and use the cohort as well as the coach to sort of validate your thinking. So any inputs for the capstone project itself?
So, overall, around capstone project, what I felt that, whatever, kind of outcomes that we are looking at, it it should be completed within the period cycle only. So at times, because what happens, you plan it, and then your focus is on the planning side of it, and then you implement it beyond the time period, right? Because your association with this entire program is for, say, for 6 months, but your
Mhm.
plan is going beyond 6 months.
Sure.
So, so what kind of design that should we have in place, where program should complete within the phases within these 6 months, and it should start, kind of, it follow a strict timeline, where we should start the program, a capstone program, from day one, first month, and then completion should be done within the period, so that whatever support is required, whatever guidance is required, it should be given during the process only.
Fair
Right.
enough.
So that is one thing that if we can manage to do it, then that would be very helpful for the accelerators to cover up. Right. So that is one kind of important feedback there. And overall, since I have a hats off, I just wanted to kind of, since you are also here, I just wanted to close my other points that I wanted to make. Another thing, I what I feel, and the attendance of today's call. So if you see, many of us are not able to join. So there has to be some kind of, I don't know how will it work. There has to be some kind of, pressure, or some kind of, priority that needs to be given by the candidates, so that they
Mhm.
can prioritize in their calendar, in their work schedule, and their organizations also knows about it. And
Sure.
that we have to, as a kind of collaboratively, we need to think of what kind of tricks that we have to bring in place, so that it for a candidate, it should be a kind of a mandate to at least do the bare basic minimum things in time, as per the program requirement.
Fair
So
enough.
that's one important thing, that we may work with the managements. We ensure that it should part of their kind of uh, maybe KRAs and all, whatever. So
Sure.
some kind of
Sure.
techniques that needs to be in place.
Sure.
Otherwise,
Yes, we would, of
overall, it
course.
was a
Yeah.
good experience, and also feedback sessions are and the one-to-one coaching session was very important. That has helped a lot. It gives you an opportunity to go beyond your workspace, and then think on the on the areas which you are not taking care after because of your regular assignments.
Sure.
And from leadership point of view, it's very important to think you have a larger vision in place, and you can only do it when you will get out of your regular exercises. So
Absolutely.
so that's one of the most important aspect I felt, it's very important.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Krishnendu. Since you are sort of running along, I think you have another commitment. Let me very quickly move to the next set of pieces. And here, I think I'm just going to continue. Um, just some any specific topics that sort of from the courses that you attended that you didn't find useful, and if you can just type it up in the chat box, that'll help. Because then we can move through these slides a little quickly. The other question that we had is, we'd also like you to suggest additional topics that you would find interesting. Again, put this in the chat if you can think of topics that you want us to consider adding over and above the ones that you did experience when you went through the program. This one question, I'd like to hear a comment or two. Uh, a large part of the Accelerate program works really well for people who are in a program management role and have a team. But there are other colleagues in enabling functions like communications, maybe HR, maybe monitoring and evaluation, who may be individual contributors, and not necessarily having a team. But just given the flavor of the program, do you think that this is equally applicable and relevant for those who may not be in a classic sort of program implementation leadership role? So, if you have any thoughts on that, we'd love to hear about it in the chat. If you can put in a line, just say yes, no, and a reason, if you have one where it may work or may not work. Yeah. So as I'm speaking, you can add it to your chat. I'll move past this. I think I want to sort of cover what's now coming up. We'd like all of you, since you all have said that all of you have said you will recommend this to your other colleagues. So we're looking for at least one person for you to nominate from your organization. It could be within your program, it could be outside your program. We'd love to hear a name, and we'll circulate a little sort of format for you to share the details of the person that you're nominating. But essentially, just to let you know what are eligibility criteria, the person can be from about 8 to 10 years of overall experience in the sector. It'll be useful if they have at least 2+ years of managing a team. And these are typically mid-career professionals whose current role could be largely operational, but are at that a point where they need to start to get a little more strategic, not maybe completely strategic, but at least initiate the thinking of needing to be strategic. So that's sort of overall eligibility. And we'd love for some sort of, we've listed out a few desired qualities that you could consider. One is that, someone that your organization, your program wants to invest, both for the sake of the organization as well as the individual's growth. So that's sort of one desired quality. Also, when you're nominating, just think about individuals who have actually demonstrated commitment to personal growth in the past, because that shows their orientation to learning. It shows their positive commitment. So look for those who may have demonstrated this ability in the past. And like all of you have experienced, this is something that you do while you continue your day job, which is around your programs and other work deliverables. So people who have the bandwidth, who can sort of give time to both these pieces. And the way we are envisioning the new batch in terms of programs is going to be largely similar. There may be one or two additional components. So learning events about 6 to 8. We're introducing a peer learning session, which is within the cohort, trying to sort of build a community of peers who can then exchange notes about their learning journeys, and sort of reflect and learn together. So we're introducing 2 peer learning sessions. We're trying to see if there is a requirement for an external optional course, which is offered on other platforms like Coursera, like other learning platforms. And those, again, we're keeping it optional because there is a time commitment to this. And those of who may complete it, we're happy to reimburse the cost, and we'll recommend which one would be good. The personal visioning, the 180-degree feedback, and the IDP creation with the coach will continue. And the capstone project, of course, will also continue. But just one more sort of point, like Krishnendu said, we'd love to sort of mandate a lot of these things, but, we have to also sort of be a little bit flexible. But the time commitment that we think is approximately about 80 hours across the 6 months, which includes about 8 days towards the capstone project. So bear that in mind when you think of the name. Yeah. So we will give the sort of first preference to the name that each of you would want to recommend, and Smriti will be in touch with you to get those names. We'd like for you. We'll also share this with the respective point of contacts for routes within your organization, so that they are validating and verifying the name that you pick, so that the organization also knows that someone from your team or the organization is coming for this. So that's really sort of desired qualities. We'll circulate this deck to all of you so that you have this for reference. My last sort of piece that I certainly want your input now is, how keen are you to engage as an alumni group? And what are your suggestions on what we should do as an alumni group? And how would you see yourself contributing to the alumni group? So just some thoughts here. This is my last slide. I'll leave these questions. I'd love for you to share your view on how should we all engage as an alumni. You could raise your hand, and maybe I should stop presenting. I could sort of repeat these questions if someone wants help. Um, yes. Any thoughts on, do you want an alumni? Because one of the things, there was a recent report that was commissioned by the Amit Chandra Foundation that does a lot of financial support to leadership programs that are being run in the country by different organizations. One of the things that came through as an area of gap in most programs is that the alumni network is not built, supported, and engaged with. And so we're trying to use that feedback and bring it into this program as well. And so would love to hear, how would you engage as an alumni member? How would you contribute? Yes, Rita, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Rita's raised her hand.
Okay.
And then Mahindra, you can go next. Yes, Rita? Okay, Rita is not responding. Mahindra, go ahead, and then we'll come back to Rita.
Some in the some time interval, if we can interact each other for a specific topics, and then we can discuss and get some takeaway things from the discussion. That would be helpful, I think.
Okay. Anything specific that you have in mind, Mahindra, that the peer group should be talking about?
That I have not specific topics in this time, but in the coming what would be that like hot topics would be the we can in the time being that can become and then and that I think that kind time we can determine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Any Rita, can you hear me? You have your hand up. Would you like to respond?
Yeah, hi Shilpa. So, so what was the question again? Actually, I have another meeting that is going on.
Sure. No, we want to engage as a alumni community, Rita, going forward.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
the program is over, we thought it will be a good forum for all of us to catch up at some sort of frequency that is agreeable to all of us. And my question is, would you like that? And if yes, what would you have the peer network or the alumni network talk about?
Yeah, I would love to be a part of that alumni cohort. And the topic, like I'm not sure right now about the topic on which we can discuss. We can discuss about, but as we all are working in our in different sectors, so we can discuss the whatever the challenges or what are the like on a day-to-day basis, what are the challenges and gaps or issues we face while implementing the project. So that sort of discussion we can have participate, and we can just discuss and cross learning from each of the participate and come up with the solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So you can use this forum to share the challenges that you're experiencing, use your peer group to sort of ideate and come up with solutions.
Yeah,
Great. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. Thank you, Rita. My other question that I also want all of us to think about is that when you create an alumni engagement plan, it's a two-way process. It's not that the Roots team will constantly sort of bring up an agenda for us to talk about. So, how would you like to contribute? What would you like to give back to this community of learning?
I think
I think we can share our
I
ideas.
Sorry, Prakash, go ahead, and then Mahindra can go after you.
sorry, Mahendraji. So I think the idea behind this alumni network is I think very good. And after means like me, I'm only the alumni of my own the college community, but uh, and we don't have any other alumni network. So I think we come here with a different set of experiences, and sector-wise thematic experiences is also very. So there is a diverse community who have been graduated in and who has become the accelerators. So I think as a alumni, I think we'd also like to work closely with the FICUS team in identifying the themes and working on the themes so that the session can be designed, and we can also create subgroups, like few people can identify the resource person for the, or can volunteer self as a resource person. We can also support in sharing our experiences to the new cohort who will be joining as the in the during the next batch. And I think that way we can contribute to each other. And like Rita has said, that we can also share our experience, like challenges, and what are the means as a sector, what are the priorities and priority areas. And we can also help each other in building each other's connections, networks, um, and of course getting funds if we have some connections. So and I think this, I think we can have a brainstorming session how, as a accelerator, we can build this alumni network, and what would be our contribution, as well as how FICAS is strategizing the whole alumni network. So, so we also have to think for the side of accelerators, that what like in terms what kind of value um, to be added if accelerators become the join the
Sure.
alumni network. So it has to
Sure.
be both side. I think we have to think a lot. This is a new thing which has come, so we need some time. And I think
Sure.
after a week we can have a concrete discussion based on what would be the exact roles. And we need your guidance and support, because this is also new for us. So I think the leadership goes to you for
Sure.
uh, creating. And like the accelerator also, I think Lakshmi, all credit goes to Lakshmi. And that she always ask yep, reach out to every individual accelerator, and let them join the various events and the programs organized by the FICAS team. So likewise, because some prompt is needed, like Krishnendu has said, that we can share this to our individual organization also. The FICAS is planning this kind of thing, and we need to devote certain time for this cause also. So I think that way it will work definitely true. And this is a very good concept, according to me. And we should work on it, I think, together. Thank you.
Sure,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
So here's what sort of we will do. We've not yet, I think the alumni group should determine at what frequency should we meet. We could start, let's say, like once a month. We could do the next session just to ideate on, for the next quarter. What are two or three things that we want to pick up as a group? The group can decide it, and then, we're happy to provide the space, organize for it, circulate, and sort of do the push that we normally do to get everybody onto the platform. And let's together decide it. So we'll stay in touch with all of you, and we'll continue to engage with you on the WhatsApp group that you have. And let's evolve that agenda together. And then in each conversation, for example, one alumni member can take the lead to steer a conversation around a topic that's been decided for that month. So all of those are open for conversation. Continue to use the group to, let's say, you don't need to wait for us to meet like this. But one of the things that becomes important is to stay alive, and interact on the WhatsApp group. So even if there is a thought that occurs and you want a second opinion, you want a validation from your peers, use that group. It doesn't mean that just because the Accelerate program is over, that you stop interacting. So if you have a question for us, we'll be happy to respond. If you have a question for your peers, please post it on this group, so that even though the alumni network is not meeting online, there is an offline interaction that continues. So I would urge you to actively use that group for sure. We're at 12:15. That's the committed time to close this conversation. We'll put up sort of the minutes, and we'll share this deck with you Keep your thoughts going. If you've not had an opportunity to share feedback about your experience of the program, continue to post that on the group. We'll pick it up, and we'll let you know when the new batch is going to start, and we'll stay in touch to get your nominee from your organization. Like I said, the first preference will be to all of you, and then we'll open it up to the rest of your organization, to your SPOC, to your organization leader, and then you'll of course we will invite you to some of the events, for the new cohort. You all can be buddies. There's a huge number of possibilities. So we would just love your contribution, and thank you so much for your time today, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you all.
Have a
We'll
good day.
miss you, but good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
You want to stop the recording?